Taiho sat alone in the training room, his blue skin glistening with sweat. His forearms moved through the practice motions with perfect timing. On the wall, the score screen showed numbers higher than any other student had ever reached. "Still here, young champion," a deep voice called from the doorway. Taiho turned to see his mentor, Do-Yun. The old alien's skin had faded to pale blue with age, and the ridges on his head had grown thick and twisted like ancient tree roots. "I need to be better," Taiho said, reaching for his water bottle with one arm while continuing practice strikes with the other three. Do-Yun walked into the room slowly, using his walking stick for support. "Better than what? You already break every record." "Not every record," Taiho said. He pointed to a small plaque high on the wall. Unlike the shiny new screen showing current champions, this plaque was old and made of real metal. The writing on it was worn and hard to read. Do-Yun's eyes narrowed. "Ah, the human myth again." "It's not a myth," Taiho said. "Someone won 12 matches in one day. The records say so." "Records can be wrong," Do-Yun said, "or they can be jokes. Think about it, Taiho. No real person could win 12 high-level matches in one day. The body would fail. The mind would break. It's a story to scare young fighters." Taiho stopped his practice and looked at his mentor. "Then why does the Grand Tournament still have the human rule?" Rule 7, Section 12. No human competitors allowed under any circumstances. If humans are just a myth, why ban them? Do-Yun sighed and lowered himself onto a bench. "Come, sit with me." Taiho sat beside his teacher. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of the air system. "When I was young," Do-Yun began, "my teacher told me humans were real, but they were banned because they were too dangerous. They looked much like the Zentari, 2 arms and 2 legs, but inside they were different. Their bones were solid, not hollow. Their muscles were dense, and they never, ever gave up." "That sounds amazing," Taiho said, his eyes wide. "Why would we ban such great fighters?" "The story says the human fighter didn't just win those 12 matches. He enjoyed them. After each victory, while his opponents went to medical care with broken bones and torn muscles, the human asked for more challengers. He smiled the whole time." Taiho frowned. "What's wrong with enjoying competition? For us, fighting is serious. We do it for honor and to test our limits. The human treated it like a game." Do-Yun shook his head. The final match, against the 7-time champion Kirak, lasted only 2 minutes. When it was over, the human wasn't even breathing hard. That night, the tournament council met in secret, and the next day, the human rule appeared. "But that was 300 years ago," Taiho said. "Shouldn't we at least try to find them? Learn from them?" Do-Yun's face grew serious. "Listen to me, Taiho. Some council members say humans were not banned. They say humans chose to leave, and they left for our sake, not theirs." "What does that mean?" Taiho asked. "It means be careful asking questions about humans." Do-Yun stood up slowly. "Especially now that you've qualified for the senior division. The council watches top fighters closely. You think they're hiding something." "I think," Do-Yun said carefully, "that some truths are kept hidden because they're dangerous. Not like weapons, but like ideas that change everything once you know them." He walked to the door, then turned back. "Tomorrow you meet your new training partners. Rest tonight." After Do-Yun left, Taiho looked again at the old plaque. The name was worn away, but he could make out a date and a simple image, a strange rounded shape that might be a head with no ridges, no scales, and no antennae. "I will find you," he whispered to the plaque. "Whatever the truth is, I will find it." He didn't know then how much the truth would cost him, or how it would change the galaxy forever. The Grand Tournament arena gleamed under bright lights. Thousands of beings from 100 worlds filled the seats, their voices creating a constant roar like an ocean. Taiho stood in the preparation room, all 4 of his arms wrapped in protective gear. Today was his first match in the senior division. His heart beat fast, but his face showed no fear. "Remember your training," Do-yun said, adjusting Taho's head guard. "Move like water, strike like stone." "I know," Taho said. "I've been ready for this day since I was small." Do-yun smiled, the wrinkles around his eyes deepening. "Yes, but today is different. Senior matches have no time limit. Your opponent will not stop until one of you cannot continue." "Sogu is strong, but slow," Taho said, naming his opponent. "I studied his past fights. He always attacks the same way." The door opened, and a tall, thin alien with shimmering green skin entered. She wore the black and gold uniform of a tournament official. "I am Jaya, Senior Council Representative," she said. Her voice was smooth, but her 4 eyes moved constantly, examining Taho from different angles. "I've come to wish our youngest qualifier good fortune." Do-yun bowed low. "An honor, Representative." Jaya barely glanced at him. "You have caused quite a stir, young Taho. Some say you might break all records." "I will do my best," Taho said. Jaya walked slowly around him. "Your physical tests are unusual, especially your endurance scores. My student trains harder than anyone," Do-yun said quickly. "Yes, I'm sure." One of Jaya's eyes stayed fixed on Do-yun, while the others continued to study Taho. "The council will watch your progress with great interest." After she left, Taho turned to Do-yun. That was strange. Why would a senior representative visit a new fighter? Before Do-yun could answer, a bell sounded. It was time for the match. The arena seemed even bigger from the fighting platform. Sogu already waited there, his massive red body covered in bony plates. He stood on 6 thick legs and had 2 heavy striking arms. "Begin," the official called. Sogu charged immediately, just as Taho expected. Taho slipped to the side, faster than anyone thought possible. The crowd gasped. For 10 minutes they fought. Sogu was powerful but predictable. Taho moved like he could see each attack before it happened. When he finally struck back, his blows landed exactly where Sogu's armor plates met, the only vulnerable spots. After 20 minutes, Sogu was breathing hard. After 30, he was slowing down. At 40 minutes, when most matches would have ended, Taho was still fresh, still moving quickly. The crowd grew quiet. This was not normal. Finally, after 53 minutes, Sogu fell to his knees. "I surrender," he gasped. The arena was silent for 3 seconds. Then came a roar louder than before. Taho had won his first senior match, and he had done it without looking tired at all. In the viewing box high above, Jaya sat with other council members. "You see," she said quietly, "just like the records from 300 years ago." An older council member named Hyunwoo frowned. "One match doesn't prove anything. Many species have good endurance." "Not like this," Jaya said. "Look at his body temperature readings. They'd barely changed during the entire fight." Hyunwoo leaned forward. "Run a full genetic scan. I want to know exactly what he is." "And if he's what we fear?" asked another council member. Hyunwoo's face hardened. "Then we do what we should have done 3 centuries ago. We contain the situation permanently." Back in the preparation room, Taho was surrounded by other fighters offering congratulations, but he noticed something odd. The older champions were looking at him differently now, some with wonder, some with fear. Do-yun pulled him aside. "You did well, but perhaps too well." "What do you mean?" Taho asked. "I won. Isn't that the point?" "The point is to win within normal limits," Do-yun whispered. "You didn't even look tired." "But I wasn't tired," Taho said, confused. Do-yun's face grew serious. "Listen carefully. Don't go back to your quarters tonight. Meet me at the old library instead. There's something I need to show you." "What is it?" Taho asked. Do-yun glanced around nervously. "The truth about the human myth. And possibly The truth about you. The old library stood at the edge of the tournament grounds. Unlike the shiny new buildings, it was made of real stone, dark and solid. Most fighters never came here. They preferred the digital training guides to dusty old books. Tahoe arrived after sunset, wearing a plain brown cloak to hide his blue skin. The library seemed empty, but as he walked between tall shelves, a small shape dropped from above and landed in front of him. "Are you crazy?" the small figure whispered. "The council has trackers on all competitors." It was Minji, a tiny green alien with 6 thin arms and large golden eyes. She worked in the technology center and had been Tahoe's friend since childhood. "Do-hyun told me to come," Tahoe said. "He has something to show me." "Do-hyun was taken for questioning an hour ago," Minji said. Her eyes blinked rapidly, a sign she was worried. "He sent me a message to meet you instead. We need to hurry." She led Tahoe through narrow spaces between shelves, then pressed a hidden panel. A section of wall slid open, revealing a dark stairway leading down. "The Forbidden Archives," Minji whispered. "Only council members can enter. I borrowed Jai's access card when she came for system updates." "Borrowed?" Tahoe asked. "Fine, I stole it," Minji said. "But I'll put it back before she notices." The stairs led to a round room with old computer stations arranged in a circle. In the center stood a column of light, a hologram projector. "What are we looking for?" Tahoe asked. "Tournament records from 300 years ago," Minji said, her 6 arms typing on different keyboards at once. "Do-hyun said you need to see the unedited files." The screens lit up with text and images, but many had large sections marked DDLETDD or CLASSIFIE. "This is strange," Minji said. "Someone has removed huge parts of the records. Entire species histories are just gone." "Can you recover anything?" Tahoe asked. "Maybe." Her fingers flew faster. "There's backup data in a separate system. Not everything was completely erased." The hologram projector flickered, then showed a blurry image. It was a recording of an old tournament match. 2 fighters faced each other. One was a massive creature with thick armor plates. The other was smaller, standing on 2 legs. "Is that?" Tahoe leaned closer. "I think so," Minji said. "A human." The recording quality was poor, but they could see the human moved with incredible speed. The larger opponent couldn't land a single hit. The human didn't just dodge. It seemed to know where attacks would come before they happened. "Look at the movement pattern," Tahoe said. "It's similar to my style." "That's impossible," Minji said. "This recording is from before you were born." The match ended quickly. The human won without taking a single hit. What was most strange was the human's face. It wasn't angry or fierce. It looked happy. "There's more," Minji said, opening another file. Medical scans of different species. The screen showed diagrams of various aliens, with notes about their strengths and weaknesses. Then came a human diagram. "This can't be right," Tahoe said, reading the data. "No living thing could have this combination of strength, speed, and endurance." "And look at this," Minji pointed to notes at the bottom. "Their bones are nearly unbreakable compared to ours. Their blood carries more oxygen. They can run for hours without rest. And their pain tolerance." "What about their pain tolerance?" Tahoe asked. "It says they can continue fighting at full capacity even with injuries that would disable most species." Minji looked up at Tahoe. "They're like living weapons." Suddenly, a new file opened by itself. It was a genetic comparison chart. At the top was a human DNA strand. Below it were other species, including Praxian, Tahoe's species. But Tahoe's personal DNA scan was there too, and it showed something impossible. "Tahoe," Minji whispered, her voice shaking. "Your DNA. It's part human." Before Tahoe could respond, red lights began flashing. An alarm sounded. "Someone knows we're here," Minji said, quickly closing files. We need to leave now. Not yet, Tahoe said, grabbing a data crystal from Minji's workstation. Download everything you can. We need proof. As the alarm grew louder, one question burned in Tahoe's mind. If he was part human, what did that make him? A champion or a monster? Red lights flashed as Tahoe and Minji ran up the stairs from the forbidden archives. The alarm seemed to come from all directions. This way. Minji grabbed Tahoe's arm with 2 of her 6 limbs and pulled him behind a large bookshelf. There's a service exit through the cleaning room. They slipped through narrow gaps between shelves, moving as quietly as possible. The data crystal felt heavy in Tahoe's pocket. It contained proof that humans were real and that he was somehow connected to them. Just as they reached the back wall, bright lights flooded the room. 5 security guards in tournament uniforms blocked the main entrance. We're trapped, Tahoe whispered. Not yet, Minji said, pointing up. The air vents. I can fit, but you. I'll find another way, Tahoe said. Take this. He handed her the data crystal. Get it somewhere safe. Minji hesitated, then quickly climbed the shelf. She pulled open a vent cover and squeezed inside. Tahoe turned to face the guards, ready to fight. But before the guards reached him, a side door opened. Someone grabbed his arm and pulled him through. It was Jaya, the council representative. Be quiet and follow me, she said, closing the door behind them. They were in a narrow hallway Tahoe had never seen before. Why are you helping me? Tahoe asked as they hurried along. Because Do-Yun was right to trust you with the truth, Jaya said, and because I'm tired of the lies. She led him to a small room with no windows. Inside, Do-Yun sat at a table, looking tired but unharmed. You made it, the old trainer said with relief. Did you see the records? Yes, Tahoe said. I saw a human fight, and I saw my own DNA compared to human DNA. He looked at Do-Yun with hurt in his eyes. Did you know what I am? I suspected, Do-Yun admitted. Your strength, your endurance, they reminded me of the old stories. Why didn't you tell me? Tahoe demanded. Because it would have put you in danger, Jaya said. The council has been hiding the truth about humans for centuries. She pressed a button on the wall, and a screen appeared. It showed a map of the galaxy, with one area marked in red. This is Earth, the human homeworld, she explained. 300 years ago, humans joined the Galactic Concordat and entered the tournament. They didn't just win. They dominated every event they entered. But they weren't banned, Do-Yun added. That's the lie we've all been told. Then what happened? Tahoe asked. The humans withdrew voluntarily, Jaya said. After winning 12 matches in one day, their champion realized something that shocked him. Other competitors were experiencing severe psychological trauma from facing humans. I don't understand, Tahoe said. For most species, fighting is about survival, Do-Yun explained. We fight when we must, and we rest when we can. But humans, he shook his head in wonder. Humans fight for fun. They seek out challenges. They deliberately make games harder just to enjoy them more. When humans realized they were causing harm just by competing, Jaya continued, they met with the council and offered to withdraw from public competitions. They would still be part of the Concordat, but would keep to themselves. But some council members wanted more, Do-Yun said darkly. They saw humans as potential weapons. They started a secret program to create hybrid fighters with human abilities, but alien loyalty. Tahoe felt cold all over. You mean I'm an experiment? You're the first successful hybrid in 300 years, Jaya said. All others failed. Your genetic pattern is unique. Who did this to me? Tahoe asked. Who are my parents? Before anyone could answer, the door burst open. 6 armed guards entered, followed by Hyunwoo, the council member who had watched Tahoe's match. Traitors, he said coldly, looking at Jaya and Do-Yun. And the abomination. He pointed at Tahoe. He's not an abomination, Jaya said, stepping in front of Taiho. He's the proof that we've been wrong all these years. Take them. Hanwu ordered. The experiment is over. The council has decided. As guards surrounded them, Taiho looked at Doyan. What do they want with me? Doyan's face was grim. They want to make sure the truth stays buried, Taiho. Even if they have to bury you with it. The cell was small and white, with no windows and only one door. Taiho sat on a hard bench alone. They had taken Jaya and Doyan somewhere else. He had been here for hours, maybe days. It was hard to tell without seeing the sun. The door slid open. 2 guards entered, followed by Hyunwoo. Get up, Hyunwoo ordered. The council wants to see you. They took Taiho through long hallways to a room he had never seen before. It was round and dark, with a large screen covering one wall. 12 council members sat in a half-circle, watching him. Jaya was among them, but she did not look at him. Taiho of Rax, the oldest council member, said, "You have learned things you were not meant to know." "I learned that I'm part human," Taiho said. "I learned that you've been lying about humans for centuries." Some council members looked angry, but the old one just nodded. "Yes, and now we must decide what to do with you." "Where is Do-Yun?" Taiho demanded. "What have you done with him?" "Your trainer is safe," the old member said. "For now." Hyunwoo stepped forward. "We should end this experiment now. It's too dangerous." "I'm not an experiment," Taiho said, his 4 hands curling into fists. "I'm a person. You are what we made you," Hyunwoo said coldly. "No," Jaya spoke for the first time. "We should show him the truth. All of it. He deserves to know." The council members argued among themselves. Finally, the old one raised a hand for silence. "Show him," he ordered. The lights dimmed, and the big screen came to life. It showed a blue and green planet. "Earth," Jaya said. "The human homeworld." The image changed to show cities, roads, and people going about their lives. Humans looked a bit like some other species Taiho had seen, but there was something different about them. The way they moved, the way they acted. "These recordings come from our monitoring station near Earth," Jaya explained. "We've been watching humans for centuries, making sure they don't expand too quickly into space." "They look normal," Taiho said. "Not like monsters." "Keep watching," Hyunwoo said. The screen showed humans doing everyday things. Some lifted heavy objects without machines. Others ran long distances without stopping to rest. Young humans climbed tall structures just for fun. "This is ordinary for them," Jaya said. "What would take one of us special training and equipment, they do without thinking." Then the screen showed something that made Taiho gasp. A human child, no bigger than Minji, was playing a game where it threw a small ball at incredible speed. The ball would have broken Taiho's bones, but the child caught it again and again, laughing. "Their young can do this?" Taiho asked. "Yes," Jaya said. "And look here." The screen changed to show adult humans in a competition. They were lifting weights that would crush most species, running at speeds that seemed impossible. "These are not their champions," Jaya said quietly. "These are average humans." Taiho could hardly believe what he was seeing. If these are average, what are their best like? "We don't know," Hyunwoo said. "We've never seen their limits. That's what makes them so dangerous." "But they don't look dangerous," Taiho argued. "They're just living their lives." "That's what makes them truly dangerous," the old council member said. "They don't know their own power. They've evolved on a world that tried to kill them at every turn. High gravity, extreme weather, deadly predators. They survived it all, and think it's normal." The screen showed more images. Humans playing in water that would drown most species. Humans touching fire without fear. Humans falling from heights and getting up again. "Now do you understand?" Hyunwoo asked. "This is why we keep them isolated. This is why we created the myths. If other species knew what humans were truly capable of, they would be afraid," Taiho finished. Yes, Jaya said. And fear leads to terrible things. Taiho watched the screen, mesmerized by these beings who were part of him. But if they withdrew voluntarily, they must be peaceful. That's what some of us believe, Jaya said, looking directly at Hyunwoo. Others see only the threat. Enough, the old council member said. We've shown you the truth. Now you must decide, Taiho. Will you help us keep this secret, or must we find another way to ensure your silence? Taiho looked at the screen one last time. A human family was sitting together, sharing food, laughing. I want to meet them, he said. My human ancestors. I need to know who I really am. No, Hyunwoo said firmly. Absolutely not. No contact with humans is allowed. The council room erupted in arguments. Some members sided with Hyunwoo, while others thought Taiho's request deserved consideration. Silence. The old council leader called, tapping his staff on the floor. This is not a decision to make in haste. Return the hybrid to his cell while we deliberate. The guards moved toward Taiho, but Jaya stepped between them. Wait, she said. There is someone he should meet first. She turned to the council. Let me take him to the Earth monitoring station. Let him speak with Junsu. Hyunwoo's eyes widened. The observer? He hasn't spoken to anyone in 15 years. Exactly, Jaya said, because what he learned on Earth changed him. Perhaps he can help Taiho understand. After more debate, the council agreed. 3 guards would go with them, and Hyunwoo himself would lead the group. They traveled in a small ship, moving quickly through space. No one spoke much during the journey. Taiho watched the stars and thought about the human part of himself. Had his parents known? Was that why they had abandoned him as a baby? The monitoring station looked like a small moon from the outside, but inside it was filled with screens and equipment. Most areas were dark and empty. We used to have 50 observers here, Jaya explained as they walked through silent hallways. Now we have only 1. At the end of the longest hall was a round door. Jai pressed her hand to a scanner, and the door slid open. Inside was a garden. Real plants grew under artificial lights. Water flowed in small streams. Birds with bright feathers flew between trees. In the center sat a short, stocky alien with gray skin. He was carefully cutting leaves from a small tree. Junsu, Jaya called softly. We have a visitor for you. The gray alien looked up. His eyes were unusual, rounder than most species, with white surrounding dark centers, almost like human eyes. The hybrid, Junsu said, his voice rough from disuse. I wondered when you would come. You know about me? Taiho asked, surprised. I know about all the experiments, Junsu said. I helped start them. After all, he put down his cutting tools and gestured for Taiho to sit on a stone bench near him. You have questions, he said. Ask them. Taiho had 100 questions, but one seemed most important. What are humans really like? Not just their strength, but who are they? Junsu smiled, showing teeth that looked filed to points. I lived among humans for 10 years, disguised, of course. I learned their languages, their customs. I became almost one of them. His smile faded, and I discovered the most dangerous thing about humans. Their strength? Taiho guessed. No, Junsu shook his head. Their minds. He stood and walked to a control panel. Screens lit up around the garden, showing more images of Earth. Look at these, he said, pointing to humans building enormous structures. They do this for fun. They climb mountains that could kill them. They dive into oceans that could crush them. They race at speeds that should tear them apart. But why? Taiho asked. Because they enjoy difficulty, Junsu said, his voice filled with wonder. Every other species in the galaxy evolved to conserve energy, to avoid danger, to take the easiest path. But humans, he laughed softly, humans deliberately seek out challenge. They make their own lives harder on purpose. Taiho struggled to understand. That makes no sense. Exactly. Junsu turned to face him. Their minds work differently. When something is easy, they get bored. When something is hard, they get excited. They have a saying, no pain, no gain. Imagine that. They believe suffering leads to improvement. Is that why they're so strong? Tahoe asked. Yes, Junsu nodded. They push themselves constantly. They have sports, games, where they compete just to see how far they can push their limits. He touched another screen, showing a human lifting a heavy weight. This human isn't special among his kind, but the weight he's lifting would crush any three of us together. Hyunwoo, who had been silent until now, stepped forward. This is exactly why we keep them isolated. They're too dangerous. No, Junsu said firmly. You still don't understand. Humans aren't dangerous because they're strong. They're dangerous because they make everyone around them stronger. He looked at Tahoe. That's the real secret we've been hiding. Humans don't want to conquer. They want to teach, to challenge, to help others grow. He smiled sadly. And that is why the council fears them most of all. Enough of this nonsense, Hyunwoo said, his voice sharp with anger. Humans are dangerous. That's all the galaxy needs to know. Junsu turned to face Hyunwoo. You've always been afraid of them, even before you joined the council. With good reason, Hyunwoo replied. I saw what one human did in the tournament. 12 champions defeated in a single day, and the human wasn't even tired. And did that human hurt anyone? Junsu asked. Did they mock their opponents or act cruel? Hyunwoo looked away. No, but their power alone is threat enough. The real threat, Jaya said quietly, is keeping secrets that should be shared. The galaxy has a right to know about humans. Never. Hyunwoo's hand moved to his belt where a small weapon was attached. The council has kept this secret for 300 years. We won't let it out now. Tahoe watched this argument with growing concern. There was something wrong about Hyunwoo's anger. It seemed too personal, too deep. Why do you hate humans so much? Tahoe asked him directly. Hyunwoo's eyes fixed on Tahoe. Because they destroy everything they touch. They change the natural order. That's not true, Junsu said. In my 10 years on Earth, I saw humans help other species, protect their environment. Lies. Hyunwoo shouted. Suddenly, he pulled out his weapon and pointed it at Junsu. You've been corrupted by them. You're no better than a human yourself. The guards looked confused, unsure whose orders to follow. Hyunwoo, Jaya said calmly, put the weapon down. This isn't the council's decision. The council is weak, Hyunwoo said. I've waited too long for action. He turned to the guards. Arrest them all. The observer, the traitor, and the hybrid. They'll be taken back for proper containment. You can't do this, Jai protested. I can and I will, Hyunwoo said. For 3 generations, my family has protected the galaxy from human influence. I won't fail now. Tahoe suddenly understood. Your ancestor, he was on the original council, the one that decided to hide humans from the galaxy. My great-grandfather saw the truth. Hyunwoo said proudly. Humans would change everything if they were allowed to join galactic society. Some species would try to be like them. Others would worship them. The natural order would collapse. The guards moved toward Tahoe and the others. Junsu stood calmly, as if he had expected this. Jaya looked ready to fight. And the hybrid program? Tahoe asked. Was that your family's idea too? A necessary experiment, Hyunwoo said. To understand our enemy better. To learn their weaknesses. You used me, Tahoe said, anger rising in him. You created me as a weapon. And now the experiment is over, Hyunwoo said coldly. What happened next was so fast that later, Tahoe couldn't remember all the details. Hyunwoo aimed his weapon at Junsu and fired. Junsu fell. Jaya shouted and lunged at Hyunwoo. The guards tried to grab her. And Tahoe moved without thinking. His body seemed to know what to do before his mind decided. He knocked aside 2 guards with a sweep of his arms. He reached Hyunwoo before the council member could fire again. With one hand, he took the weapon. With another, he held Hyunwoo in place. "Stop!" Taho shouted to everyone. "This ends now." The room went still. Jaya rushed to Junsu, who lay bleeding on the floor. "He's alive," she said, "but barely." "Traitors, all of you," Hyunwoo spat. "You'll never leave this station." "Yes, we will," Taho said firmly. He looked at the guards. "You've seen what happened here." Hyunwoo attacked without provocation. He shot an unarmed observer. "Is this the council's justice?" The guards looked at each other uncertainly. "Help us get Junsu to the medical bay," Taho told them. "Then we're taking a ship. We're going to tell the galaxy the truth." "You'll be hunted," Hyunwoo warned. "Everywhere you go." Taho looked down at him. "Then we'll go where you won't follow. We're going to Earth." Jaya looked up in shock. "Earth? That's forbidden." "So is shooting council observers," Taho said grimly. "Things change." He turned to the guards. "Decide now. Help us, or try to stop us." The oldest guard put down his weapon. "I serve the Concordat, not one council member's grudge." The others slowly followed his lead. As they carried Junsu to the medical bay, Taho couldn't help but wonder, was this human part of him, this willingness to challenge authority, to take risks, or was it simply the right thing to do? Either way, there was no turning back now. The small ship dropped through Earth's atmosphere at night. Taho had never flown a ship before, but something in him seemed to know what to do. Jaya sat beside him, monitoring Junsu's vital signs. The old observer was stable but still unconscious. "We need to land somewhere quiet," Jaya said. "Away from human settlements." "No," Taho disagreed. "We need help for Junsu. And I need to meet them." They landed in a wooded area near a small town. The ship's cloaking system kept it hidden from human detection systems. Before leaving, they used the ship's medical scanner to make themselves look more human. Their blue and green skin became pale pink. Their extra fingers were hidden by gloves. Taho's 4 arms were a bigger problem. 2 had to be strapped tightly to his body under a large coat. "Remember," Jai warned as they prepared to leave the ship, "humans don't know about alien life. The shock might be too much for them." "Junsu needs medical help," Taho said. "We have no choice." They carried Junsu between them, struggling with their newly configured bodies. The town was quiet, with few lights on in the buildings. They followed a road sign that showed a hospital symbol. As they approached the hospital, a human on a strange 2-wheeled vehicle came around the corner. The human stopped suddenly, surprised to see them. "Hey, are you guys okay?" the human asked. It was a young male with dark hair. Taho and Jaya froze. This was their first real human encounter. Up close, the human looked so normal, yet somehow intimidating in his easy confidence. "Our friend is hurt," Taho managed to say, using the language he had learned from the station's files. The human jumped off his vehicle and came closer. "Let me see." Without hesitation, he checked Junsu's pulse and looked at the wound. "This is bad. Did someone shoot him?" Taho nodded, surprised by the human's calm reaction. "I'm Seojin," the human said. "I'm a medical student. The hospital is still 10 minutes away, but my apartment is right here. I have supplies." They followed Seojin to a small apartment on the ground floor of a nearby building. Inside, it was cluttered with books and strange devices. Seojin cleared a table, and they laid Junsu down. "This doesn't look like any gunshot wound I've studied," Seojin said as he cleaned the injury. "What kind of weapon did this?" "It's classified," Jaya said. Seojin gave her a strange look but continued working. "Whatever. I've seen enough weird stuff at the ER." He worked quickly, his hands moving with incredible precision. "He needs blood, but I don't know his type." "We're not from here," Taho said carefully. "Yeah, I figured that much," Seojin said, not looking up from his work. "Your accents are strange." Tourists. Something like that, Tahoe said. As Seojin worked, Tahoe watched in amazement. The human moved with such confidence, doing complex medical procedures without hesitation. Everything the council feared about humans, their strength, their intelligence, was on display, but being used to help, not harm. Suddenly, Jumsu's eyes opened. He saw Seojin and tried to move. "Easy there," Seojin said, gently holding him down. "You've lost a lot of blood." "A human," Jumsu whispered. "After all these years." Seojin froze. He looked at Jumsu, then at Tahoe and Jaya. What did he say? Before they could answer, a loud crash came from outside. Through the window, Tahoe saw several black vehicles arriving. Men in dark uniforms poured out carrying weapons. "Found you," a voice called through a speaker. "By order of the council, surrender the hybrid and the observer." "Hyunwoo," Jaya whispered. "He must have followed us." Seojin looked confused. "What's going on? Who are these people?" "They want to hurt us," Tahoe said simply. "They think we're dangerous." Seojin peeked through the window. 8 guys with guns against 3 unarmed people, 1 seriously injured. His face hardened. That doesn't seem fair. He walked to a closet and pulled out a metal baseball bat. "I don't know what's happening here, but no one's hurting my patients." He looked at Tahoe. "You might want to step back. This could get messy." As Seojin headed for the door, Tahoe realized the human was about to face armed council agents with nothing but a metal stick and absolute confidence. The most dangerous species in the galaxy, indeed. "Wait," Tahoe said, grabbing Seojin's arm. "You don't understand. These people have weapons that can kill you instantly." Seojin grinned. "They have to catch me first." Before Tahoe could stop him, Seojin was out the door. What happened next was both terrifying and amazing. Seojin moved with incredible speed, darting between the council agents. He didn't attack directly. He just kept moving, drawing their fire away from the apartment. The agents tried to hit him with stun beams, but Seojin was too fast. He seemed to know where each shot would go before it was fired. "How is he doing that?" Jaya whispered, watching from the window. "He's human," Junsu said weakly from the table. "This is what they do." While Seojin distracted the agents, Tahoe made a decision. He pulled off his coat, freeing his second pair of arms. Then he stepped outside. "Hyunwoo," he called. The council leader turned, his weapon pointed at Tahoe. "Surrender now, hybrid. This ends tonight." "Yes, it does," Tahoe agreed. "But not how you think." He raised his hand, showing a small device he had taken from their ship. "This is broadcasting everything to the Concordat right now. Every species is watching you attack an unarmed human who was helping an injured person." Hyunwoo's eyes widened. "You're lying." "Am I?" Tahoe pressed a button, and the device projected a hologram showing incoming messages from across the galaxy. The council chambers, the tournament arena, thousands of ships, all watching. "It's over, Hyunwoo," Tahoe said. "The truth is out." Seojin had stopped running and stood staring at Tahoe's 4 arms, then at the hologram of alien worlds. "Okay," he said slowly. "I have questions." "You're not surprised?" Jaya asked, coming outside to join them. Seojin shrugged. "I mean, you guys are clearly not from around here. The blue skin showing through your disguise kind of gave it away." He pointed at the council agents. "And these guys definitely don't look like any government agency I know." Hyunwoo lowered his weapon, looking defeated. "What have you done?" he asked Tahoe. 300 years of protection, ruined." "Protection?" Tahoe laughed. "You weren't protecting anyone. You were controlling them, keeping species apart who could learn from each other." While they talked, other humans had appeared, drawn by the noise. Instead of panicking at the sight of aliens, they were taking pictures with their devices. Some were even smiling. Your secret's definitely out," Seojin said, pointing to the gathering crowd. The next few hours were chaos, but not the kind Yunwu had feared. Human authorities arrived, then human leaders. Junsu was taken to a real hospital. Yunwu and his agents were detained, and Taho found himself explaining the Concordat to humans who seemed more curious than afraid. 6 months later, Taho stood on the tournament platform again. But this time, he wasn't alone. Seojin stood beside him, along with representatives from 12 other species. Above them, a new banner read, First Galactic Cooperative Games. The old tournament is finished, Taho announced to the crowd. Today we begin something new. Not one species against another, but all of us learning together. The crowd cheered. Among them were humans who had come to see the galaxy for the first time. They looked exactly like the myths had described them. Ordinary in appearance, extraordinary in ability. But what made them truly special wasn't their strength. It was their enthusiasm for helping others improve. Ready for this? Seojin asked, grinning at Taho. Not really, Taho admitted. Humans have been training for these events their whole lives without knowing it. You'll win everything. That's not the point, Seojin said. We've changed the rules, remember? Mixed teams. Handicaps for different abilities. It's not about winning anymore. Then what is it about? Asked a young alien child in the front row. Seojin knelt down to answer. It's about getting better together. Finding out what you can do when you stop being afraid to try. As the games began, Taho watched humans teaching other species their techniques. They failed often, laughed at their mistakes, and tried again. No one dominated. No one gave up. Jaya, now the new council leader, stood beside Taho. Was it worth it? She asked, revealing the truth. Taho looked at the arena where a human was helping a Vraxian child learn to throw properly. The child's 4 arms made it complicated, but the human was patient, showing the technique again and again until the child got it right. Yes, Taho said. This is what the galaxy needed all along. Not myths to fear, but truth to inspire us. As he watched the games continue, Taho finally understood what made humans the champions they were. It wasn't that they never lost. It was that they never stopped helping others win.